are now listening to a Forward Mile Podcast Network production.
All right, welcome into episode 31 of the Vegas Squares podcast. We are back in studio talking. We got an interesting slate of topics to chat about in this one. Last episode we talked a little bit of NHL, a little bit of NFL. We're going to stay in those arenas, but there's a couple of weird things going on in the world of sports that I'd like to kind of get your all's opinion on. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys listening. You can catch us on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. We are live there every Tuesday and Saturday, Tuesday nights, Saturday mornings. You can catch them at 12OZ Sports Radio. We are also on the Forward Mile Podcast Network. You can check us out and all the great things going on over there at forwardmile.com. I got Spike and Anthony in studio. Gentlemen, I would ask Spike how he's doing, but he doesn't really want us to know. So, Anthony, how are you today?
Doing all right.
All right, Spike, go fuck yourself.
Sounds good. Good to be here.
Speaking of fucking yourself, Spike, I'll dive into the first topic.
What, the Knights' third period against the Blue Jackets?
Yeah, the Knights' whole game pretty much was. No, actually, one kind of site that we don't talk much basketball on here, but one kind of thing that caught my eye was, are you familiar with those dating apps, Tinder, etc., and all that shit?
No, I am very grateful I got married before those swipe right, swipe left type apps became super popular. Because, I don't think I would have fared too well if I had to get through that kind of imaginary door. I can, personality-wise, I can talk with the best of them, but looks, I get a face for radio. That's why I do fucking podcasts.
I think that's why all three of us are on the radio.
Hey, fuck you guys. I'm pretty. Anyways, point being is there's a site out there called Bumble. And the way Bumble works is kind of like Tinder, only the only way you can interact is if the girl interacts with you. So you can swipe, but you can't send a message if you match.
So how do gay guys hook up on that?
I think they moved to Grindr.
No idea what that is.
He knew that name way too fast. Somebody called Desiree. Where is she? Des!
I canceled my account. Relax. Everything's cool, man. Anyways, the Clippers, the LA Clippers have out now. The new thing with the NBA is putting advertisements on their jerseys, which isn't new because soccer's been doing it for how long? Forever. But now the NBA has gotten into that realm, and they have inked a deal with Bumble to put Bumble on their jerseys. Of all of the advertisements, we're now putting dating websites, or dating apps, I guess you could say, because I don't know if it's a website. We're putting dating apps on jerseys now. What are your thoughts on that one? Can I just swipe right on the NBA, or was it left? Which way is the bad way?
I have no idea.
I don't know either, so you're asking the two wrong people.
Oh, come on. I know you know the apps. Anthony's sitting there on his phone, like watching TV, just like thumbs out, left, or right.
Nah.
Is this going to convince NBA fans who don't already know about Bumble to sign up for Bumble? Can this be a good thing for them?
It's good for the Clippers.
Well, yeah, the Clippers are getting paid, but like those apps, how do they make money? Is there like premium memberships for that shit?
I don't know why you're looking at me. I have no idea.
I'm just curious. I put this on the lineup. I figured you guys would do some research, goddammit.
Absolutely not. No, if I go onto my computer and I start looking up like Bumble and Tinder and my wife sees that shit, I'm a dead man.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
it's important to the Clippers that they innovate and reach out to their fans wherever their fans are. So
the ones who are strictly interested in casual sex only?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like the kind of thing where the site I have no idea how they make money. I have to assume it's either through advertising or through premium accounts.
Could you imagine that you're swiping and all of a sudden you're like Captain Morgan commercial comes up and you're like, all right, I gotta wait. It gives your thumb a break, I guess, from swiping, right?
Yeah. Prevent that carpal tunnel. Says today on Bumble, the female first app has over 26 million users.
26 million. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How many of them are Russian bots? Because that seems to be the
flavor of the week,
so to speak. Yeah.
Probably over half.
All right.
How many Russian bots have you come across, Anthony?
I haven't used
I know
Bumble.
you haven't. Don't lie.
I've used Plenty of Fish a few times, but
Plenty of Fish. What's Plenty? Oh, Plenty of Fish. Yeah, the online dating website. Yeah. So, do you swipe right on that one?
I don't know. I just hit the yes or the no or whatever.
Oh, that's no fun. That's the old school version.
But I mean, it's the same.
That's the
principle,
MS-DOS version. The MS-DOS. Oh, you don't swipe left or right. You push yes or no. That's the same principle, though.
Yeah.
What if, like we see, like now we see, like Oklahoma City with Plenty of Fish on their shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was sort of an inevitability that, just in the grander scheme of things, that advertisements were going to end up on professional jerseys in North America.
I don't have a problem with that, but the thing is like, is it just about the money at that point? Because I could imagine the Clippers could go out to, I don't know, even anything, Ford dealership or Carl's or In-N-Out or anything, Jack in the Box. I feel like they could get something.
Or something.
I mean, what did Bumble have to put up to be like, yeah, we want to be those people on your left titty?
I finally understand the crux of your question now. Okay.
Because I'm saying, like, it's not like online dating is taboo, but Tinder and stuff like that is a little like hush hush, I would imagine, in the public eye, It exists out there, but at the same time, you're like, not everybody, like Anthony here, will admit publicly they're on Tinder.
I've never used Tinder, so
That's
See?
such bullshit.
He's still holding out.
It's such bullshit.
for real, I've never used Tinder, so
But he's used Bumble and Grindr
Well,
simultaneously.
actually, maybe this would be a
I
good
have
experiment for us. Let Token Tony
Get on Bumble.
put up a profile on Bumble and on Tinder. See which one, A, works out better for him, or B, just which one works better for you as far as, like, actual user interface.
Could be like Token Tony toenail clipper, like alliteration.
could be like the NBA and score a lot.
It includes Token Tony and it includes the Clippers, but not those Clippers. Come on. What would your username be? Token Tony?
Probably something around those lines. Yeah.
So when a girl's swiping and she's like, Token Tony, and then she sees that you're a very light-skinned black guy.
I am.
Does anybody know if he's really black?
I have no idea.
I know. We should probably not do this podcast when the lights are off. We should probably turn the lights off.
Actually,
Hey,
what we
if the
should
lights
do?
are off, you can see my eyes still.
Oh, man.
You and I should chip in and get him like an Ancestry DNA kit or something,
There we go.
and try to find out exactly what his heritage is, because I can't tell by looking at him.
I found out from part of my mom's heritage. She ran it back to like the 1300s, and none of it came out black on that side.
Thank God, right?
Oh, I wouldn't be hating it if any of it came up.
If you were black, you wouldn't have said hating. You would have dropped the G.
Fitty.
Tree fitting. Anyways, I thought that was kind of funny that, I don't know. To me, it seems like those wouldn't be things that are just stitched right onto an NBA jersey. Tinder, Bumble.
You're right. I mean, it's definitely if advertising.
Trojan.
Yeah, if advertising
Trojan
is
would
going
be
to
another
be the new norm, this is a weird place to start.
To start, yeah, I could see this being down the line when they're just like, oh my God, I can't find anybody to sponsor a freaking basketball.
I can even understand other tech companies. Like if Airbnb went in there and did that, that makes a lot of sense because they're worth billions at this point.
Or like Expedia or Travelocity.
Exactly,
Or something
yeah.
like that.
Or like the fact that the guy who owns Microsoft or part owner of Microsoft owns their freaking team.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. And then like the other one, like I saw the Lakers, they have Wish. I don't know what that is. Does anybody know what Wish is?
Think it's like
Is it like a donation company?
believe Wish is you could sell stuff back and forth.
Like Craigslist?
Something along those lines, yes.
Let's see, Wish.com. Let's see what that is. It's an e-commerce platform, so I don't think it's a I don't think it's a
So shopping made fun.
I just want to you have to log in. I don't want to log in. It looks like cheap shit, like a bunch of.
Probably like an auction.
It looks like the Chinese got a website, like a legit website. That's what it looks like. Chinese knockoff shit.
Oh, speaking of, I need to get the link from you for the Chinese knockoff Golden Knights jerseys. Because I'm getting my 2 authentic ones sent off for customization, but I was just told it could take up to 8 months to get them back.
Where are you sending them?
The company that does the
China?
actual lettering and numbering for the NHL.
Doesn't the Armory do that?
No, they do heat press. They don't do hand stitch.
Oh, 8 months.
Yeah, I got to send it off to a company in Illinois that they don't sell jerseys anymore because they just got too many orders. They can only take jerseys that people send them and actually stitch shit on there.
Strange.
Wow. And I was still told 8 months because they have such a backlog.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have no link to knockoff jerseys. Tells you this, man.
You're
The word
right.
on the street.
My mistake.
Yeah.
The word on the street is.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
My mistake. You paid $300 a piece for each one of your 17 clearly authentic jerseys.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sounds good to me.
Half of them are signed too.
And signed by Lian Jian and Wang Fu and
Ting Wing.
Something Wang Carlson.
Oh.
This took a weird turn.
Yeah.
Well, it started on Bumble, so.
Yeah, so. Anyways, yeah, so I looked at that today, thought that was kind of a interesting thing to, like you said, interesting place to start for advertising for the Clippers is Bumble. How'd you like it if your UMass Lowell jersey there had like Tinder on the side, or?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be too crazy about that.
Would you buy the jersey? Like, that's the thing. I mean, like, could this deter Clipper fans from buying jerseys?
And that's the thing I'm not sure of. Like, I have a couple of, I can't even think of the fucking league, English Premier League jerseys. Mm-hmm. And, those have advertisements.
Like Manchester United, the most famous team in the world, their logo is a Chevy.
Right, which is funny because Chevrolet pulled out of England as soon as that deal was inked.
Right.
So that kind of cracked me up that they spent all that money and now they're not actually selling Chevys in England anymore, or at least they weren't for a while.
Here's Juventus. I'm looking at a picture right now, actually, ironically. Juventus soccer team has Jeep across the front.
Yeah. I had a couple of Everton jerseys that was sponsored by a Thai beer company called Chang.
What if, I'm saying, so what if Oklahoma City or whoever, who's your team, the Celtics, what if they had, KY on the side? Would that deter you from buying their jersey? I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I it's not a bad point. Like, the which advertiser goes on there, I would want something either I support or something that isn't offensive to me personally in some way. Like, I'm not going to buy a jersey that has Bumble on it because I'm not going to use Bumble. I don't want to walk around advertising for Bumble.
You don't support
Yeah.
it. So.
You could buy a knockoff without it, I guess. I just found something where it says the Hawks hosted Swipe Right Night in conjunction with Tinder, which actually resulted in a couple getting married, so pretty interesting.
I guess if they did it in Vegas, I guess they can do it wherever.
That's fair.
I'm not sure how long ago that was or whatever, but...
So I guess it's not as taboo as we're making out to be, because we don't use it, but I guess it's more in mainstream than I ever expected. The Tinders and the Bumbles and Anthony's Grindr account. And,
God damn it.
Sounds that way.
yeah. So, I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what companies like this who, seem taboo to some people would still, be willing to jump onto jerseys. That'd be interesting to kind of keep an eye on. So, anywho, let's move on to some football because that was too much basketball for me. That was, holy crap, 13 minutes of basketball.
Oh, no.
I'll edit that out.
That's more than the whole season combined.
Spike, what do you make of this? For the last, Belichick's been in office about, 20 years now? 18, 19?
Yeah, his first season.
1999?
His first season with the Pats was it 99 or 2000? I think it was 2000.
Well, it's 99 because he drafted Brady in 99. It was at least 99, is what I'm saying. He drafted Brady, I believe,
I
correct?
gotta look this up now.
Oh, come
I gotta
on.
look it up!
Anywho, Belichick's been in his post for at least, let's say, 18 years now.
Yeah, there you go.
He's always had a defensive coordinator, Crennel, who else? Patricia. Who else? Who was in between those two?
Yeah, head coach of the Patriots was 2000 to the present.
So who drafted Brady?
Belichick did in 2000.
I thought he was drafted in 99.
No.
You sure?
Yeah. That's what I thought. You fucked me up when you were like, 99. It's 99. I'm like, pretty sure it is.
Oh, yeah, 6th round of the 2000 draft. I could have sworn he was drafted in 99.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, so 18 years. This would be the first year of my memory that he has named a assistant coach to call plays, but not actually given him the title of defensive coordinator. And that's Brian Flores. And I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, no, the reason I'm hesitating, and you can edit this shit out.
No, we're leaving it all in.
All right, well, whatever.
This is the uncut Bumble version.
I got to look it up, but I think he actually did the same thing with Matt Patricia. Because Patricia came into the league, kind of coaching defenses, and then it was the same sort of scenario where he wasn't named defensive coordinator, but he was giving the defensive play calling responsibilities. I think that was in 2010, and he didn't get the coordinator position until 2012.
So how does that really affect? I mean, is that a pay thing, or is that just a respect thing, or
Could be kind of both.
kind of you have to earn it? I mean, is he going to get the pay of somebody who's what did Patricia earn? I guess as a defensive coordinator before leaving for Detroit, because I feel like it may be it can't be a situation where he's trying not to pay somebody, because the Patriots don't have money issues. So
They don't, but Kraft doesn't like to pay money if he doesn't have to. No, I think it's more... Is
this an audition for a year?
I was thinking it might be an audition. It might be Belichick trying to take some of the pressure off Flores. Because if you're named the coordinator, then the defense falls on you. If you're just calling the plays, then the defense and anything that goes wrong falls on Belichick. And he may be trying to protect Flores to say, I'll take the shit, you get the credit if it goes right. And, kind of
I got your bet. You get mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be second year as the linebackers coach, but calling the plays, so.
So second year, so he'll be considered the linebackers coach, but have play calling duties.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. So yeah, after Dean Pease left, Patricia took over in 2011, but did not officially get the title in 2012.
Right.
It appears Flores will have to earn his wings too. Mm-hmm. He's been in the New England system since 2004, so he's been with the team a long time. That is a long time. He's been with the team since he was 23 years old.
Jeez.
He did interview for the Cardinals head coaching gig about 2 months ago, so he's definitely on the radar of some people. So he's definitely... Yeah, I mean, you got to feel good about that at least, right?
Anybody that's been under Belichick for that long, you really have to hope that they have absorbed all that they can under Belichick, and that they will get the Patriots back to the promised land, especially now that, going from, what did we say, linebackers coach to, de facto defensive coordinator, even though he doesn't have the title. Mm-hmm. But hopefully that will help improve the linebacker core, because God knows they were fucking garbage this past year. Aside from Hightower, they were basically Swiss cheese back there.
Yeah, what's up, Kyle Van Noy?
Yeah.
Almost Super Bowl MVP, though, if I remember your conversation correctly.
Well, in the first 5 minutes...
Nowhere close.
In the first 5 minutes, that's all they were talking about was Kyle Van Noy.
That's all true. You were talking about was Kyle Van Noy.
No, you're like... In the first 2 minutes of the game... Head front runner for the MVP is Kyle Van Noy.
I seem to remember it going differently.
Well, yeah, a tackle for a loss and another tackle.
So, all right. So, if you're Brian Flores, do you basically come in and hopefully implement the same scheme that Patricia's been running, or do you think you have something else? Do you kind of go with your own style?
I mean, that's not Patricia's scheme, I wouldn't think. It's Belichick's scheme with Patricia's stamp on it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Belichick's going to take input from coordinators. He's going to kind of let them do what they want. But if Belichick's running a 3-4 and Patricia wants to come in and run like a 4-2-5 or a 3-4-5, something weird, then Belichick's not going to let that fly. Like, he wants to keep the relative bones of his system. Now, that will switch up game to game in some situations.
Right, matchups will be key.
Right. But yeah, no, I think that's Belichick dictates and the others implement.
Well, if you are not familiar with Flores, he is the guy who basically in Super Bowl, was that 49 against Seattle? Was that 49?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you watch any of the replays or tapes, he's the one who basically looks around at the sideline and goes, Malcolm, go, and sends Butler into the game, the undrafted rookie cornerback. And we all know the ending to that story.
We do?
We do.
Tell us again.
You tell us.
Yeah, Grandpa, tell us.
Well,
Tell us your story.
It was a cold February evening, and Thomas Edward Patrick Brady had just led his team back down by 10 points. But this crazy circus catch by this goon, Jamon Curse, or Javon, I don't know, they all sound the same. Anyways.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it. Where's my hard candies? I can't do this without my hard candies.
Your brother's special.
And then this little 5'10" sproutly boy who had big eyes.
Oh, you're such an asshole.
And a big head comes running into the game, and everybody's like, oh, shit. And little Russell runs a slant route, and this motherfucker jumped it. Catch, boom, game over. Oh. Where's the paper boy?
I was going to say, you were sounding a little too much like Herbert at the end of that one.
Get in my basement. Anyways. All right. So where do we go from here?
I have no idea. Fucking home, I hope.
Well, I'll segue from mocking into mock drafts. Hey-o. Come on,
This is why he went to broadcasting school.
Who went to broadcasting school? I make this shit up.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so I was looking at Yahoo's attempt at a mock draft, which, let's be honest, mock drafts are pretty much useless in my world. Because basically, these guys who all put out these mock drafts are telling us, they're penciling in one guy to a complete scenario, and things happen in the draft. Players, are there who aren't there in these mock drafts. Anyways, point being is you can't put a lot of stock into them, but I looked at this mock draft by Yahoo. I don't know exactly who the writer was, but they basically, all signs pointed at Josh Rosen being the first quarterback taken at number 3, and no other quarterbacks taken in the top 10. Which, I mean, if we've listened to everything we've talked about with scouts, general managers, and analysts and everything, that sounds completely crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's batshit, especially for how deep this draft is at quarterback.
Yeah, they had Darnold going 15 to the Arizona Cardinals, the Giants going for an offensive lineman, which, don't get me wrong, they need him. But when you have a chance to draft your heir apparent in any of those guys, I'd be hard-pressed to take a tackle at number 2 with the 3 to 5 quarterbacks that are out there that could change your franchise. They have Saquon Barkley going at number 1, which everybody likes him. I'm not quite on the hype train. We did a Twitter poll, actually, this week, and it split 50-50 about, I asked if you were on the hype train or not. And literally dead split 50-50, yes and no.
Wow.
Was it 2 votes?
No, it was actually, let me look it up here, hold on. But
4.
It was actually 3. I don't know how we got 50-50.
One could go either way.
Oh, my God.
You set yourself up for that one.
You guys are the worst.
We really are. You're the one that gave us your fucking home address.
It has 14 votes. 50. Actually, it's 15 votes now. It's 60-40, so 61% or whatever.
Yeah. Who?
60, yes, they're buying the hype train. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily mind that. I mean, taking a running back with the number 1 overall pick typically works out, but
Well, you got to look at the last Browns number 1 running back to be taken was Trent Richardson. That's got to be kind of, if you're the Browns, you got to kind of be like, last time we did this, it flopped tremendously. So I got to feel like they're a little bit skeptical of taking Saquon number 1. I think if you can get your quarterback 1 and still get Saquon 4, I think you got to feel okay. Or if you can take Saquon 1 and still take, Darnold or somebody number 4, then if Saquon doesn't work out but Darnold does, you can still feel okay about that.
Right, and that's the kind of thing that I think some of the other mock drafts are taking into account, is that because there are so many quarterbacks available, but not necessarily the same thing with running back, if Cleveland thinks they need a running back, you take Barkley 1, and then you take your quarterback at 4. Even if a couple of the top-of-the-board quarterbacks go, you still got to feel good with whoever's left, because, between the Giants and, who's got the third pick?
Indianapolis.
Indy. I mean, between New York and Indy, even if they both take quarterbacks, you still have somebody like Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen, or somebody is going to be there for you at 4.
Right. At the worst, I would imagine Giants are probably going to lean quarterback, depending on if Saquon Barkley's there. I think they can still survive with Eli for a year or two and see what they get out of Davis Webb. They may, if Saquon doesn't go 1, but you got to figure Cleveland's got to get a quarterback in their first 2 picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, if you're Cleveland at 4, you figure one of the 3 above you is you, so that's not a worry.
Yeah.
So
unless if they end up trading it for some reason, which I know that they're talking about listening to offers for a trade for the first
you're
overall
always
pick.
going to listen to offers when you have the first pick because, well, let's just face it. There's been times where teams will literally throw everything at you to get there. Robert Griffin Jr. or Robert Griffin III trade, the Jared Goff trade. I mean, Tennessee got so much out of that Jared Goff trade. So.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable.
And if you've seen the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner, you know that the Browns are very willing to move on a number 1 pick, whether it means to give or to receive.
Indeed.
By the way, don't watch that fucking movie.
I liked it.
What?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh my god.
What was so wrong with it? I didn't think it was that bad.
Why does Kevin Costner keep getting jobs? That's the first one. Why does he keep getting paid to act? He can't do it either way.
Well, there's a lot of people in Hollywood that can't act and they get paid. Samuel L. Jackson comes to mind immediately.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson, it's not that he can't act, it's that he plays the same guy in every movie.
And he sucks at it.
Nah, he doesn't suck at it.
Samuel L. Jackson's a terrible actor, and yet he just takes every job that sits in front of his plate.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Well, no, I don't have a problem with that. He's not the kind of guy who's like, I need to find that defining role. He's just like, yeah, I'll do it. Basically what. And I think Samuel L. Jackson's a terrible actor, but he keeps getting jobs.
Well, aside from you being completely fucking wrong about that, then, just the best part about Draft Day was Dennis Leary.
Who opened this fucking door for this guy to let him into the studio?
You left the door unlocked. It's your
Yeah, I was about
goddamn
to say.
fault.
Shit.
I told you I was going to be late. You could have just done this without me tonight.
How do you know we haven't already? This is like the 3rd recording.
No, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, especially with me on the mic.
These are the lost files that somebody will find one day.
As you throw your dog across the room.
Yep. So, anyways, where were we? We were talking about talking about Kevin.
Draft day.
I'm lost now.
Draft day, day 1. Back your money.
Where's the paper boy? What are we talking about? I'm literally lost.
Browns drafting.
Oh, okay.
Round, 2
So-
picks.
Oh, yeah, Brown's listening to offers for the number 1 overall pick.
Okay. Well, yeah. Anybody's gonna listen to offers for number 1 pick, so that takes that out of the scenario equation. I am so lost right now. Let's just move on from drafting. Basically, I thought that the Yahoo draft thing was pretty weird. That they had Rosen going 3, the Jets trading up to get Rosen. The Broncos, who all they've said for how long now is John Elway needs to take another stab at a quarterback. And they're taking Vita Vea, a defensive tackle from Washington, at number 5. So, I don't know. To me, these just... This specific Yahoo mock draft completely left-turned from all the ones I've seen by everybody else. That was where I was going with that. So, thanks, Spike.
Hey, anytime. Glad I could help.
We had talked about this in the last podcast, and we had talked about the Kirk Cousins scenario, and I put out a poll on Twitter at the end I talked about, would you give Breeze just a fat contract of like 2 for 80 or 2 for 75? If you were a team like the Bengals or the Jets or Denver or Arizona, if you had the cap room. I put that out on a poll, and actually it got quite a few votes, got 23 votes, and the yes was overwhelming, 77 to 23.
Yeah, I'd be on board with the yes for that, for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, especially if you're a team that thinks you are only a quarterback away from winning, like a Denver or Arizona. I don't think Cincinnati's quite there yet. I don't think they're, they need more pieces than just the quarterback.
But do you think a quarterback like Breeze would mask some of those pieces?
Not on the defensive side of the ball.
Very slightly.
He masked a lot in New Orleans for a long time with no defense.
But do you think he would leave New Orleans, though?
Well, that's the flip side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in an offense that he knows so well. Their defense has gotten a lot better than they used to be. He's got 2 good weapons in the backfield. He's got 1 great receiver in Michael Thomas. I understand it's hard for him to leave, but what I'm saying is that, like,
and
your agent has to pick up that phone, right?
And Jimmy Graham's available. Maybe they'll get him back.
Oh, God, could you imagine if they got Jimmy Graham back?
That'd be pretty funny.
Whose wife was he sleeping with?
I don't know. I never heard the name of the player. It was always just Jimmy Graham is sleeping with another player's wife, therefore he needs to be traded. And sure enough, he ended up in Seattle. I'm
just wondering if that player's still even there at this point. Or maybe it was Benson's wife. Maybe it was the owner's wife.
Ooh.
He's sleeping with that crypt keeper. Yeah, I mean, if you're Drew Brees' agent and somebody comes at you with 2 for 80, you got to pick up the phone for that at least, right? At least entertain that offer.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know. You're right. Drew Brees has probably got more than enough money to deal with for the rest of his life, so I'd have a hard time believing he'd ever leave New Orleans. Does that give New Orleans the leveraging power to kind of, I wouldn't say lowball him, but kind of, not give him what they, what he probably should get on the open market?
I would say
I mean, he's making like 21 right now.
Yeah.
And people are basically, the number I've seen out there is 2 for 50, which is 25.
Yeah.
Could you see them going 3 for 60, back to like 20 million a year, and guaranteeing it all, maybe?
They might be, because I know a lot of the talk is with Kirk Cousins right now is that whatever contract he is going to get, it's going to be all guaranteed money. So,
oh god, that opens a big door.
Wow, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. I haven't heard the all guaranteed. I'd say the guarantee falls somewhere around 50. If you were saying 3 for 91, I'd say it falls somewhere between 45 and 50.
No, I heard all guaranteed for Kirk Cousins.
So, the minute we start guaranteeing full contracts in the NFL, that opens up a huge door. Because that's all they've been asking about. Now, is that going to be okay for a quarterback, but not for a player who plays in the trenches, like an offensive tackle, defensive tackle, linebacker? There's no way you can guarantee their money because they are so much more prone to injury nowadays.
Oh, absolutely.
Quarterbacks obviously are heavily protected by so many rules and regulations that other than Rodgers, I don't remember anybody, I mean, Rodgers and Watson, not a lot of quarterbacks are going out for extended periods of time.
Andrew Luck?
Well, he was 2 years ago. He had a serious shoulder
team.
Injury with a weak offensive line. He got
No,
his team got him hurt.
I understand.
He got hammered. It's like the brick wall just collapsed.
So, I don't know. I could see more quarterbacks getting guaranteed contracts, but not the other guys who are pining for them, like the middle linebackers, the trench guys. Cornerbacks, receivers.
I mean, it would take a special kind of talent that was available for you, and the only way you could get him was to guarantee the whole contract. Like if a superstar cornerback, like Christ, what's his name from Kansas City that just got traded to L.A.?
Peters,
yeah. If he had hit the free agent market and said, and all other things being equal, and one team was guaranteeing the whole money, the whole contract, then.
Well, yeah,
that sort of thing makes sense to me.
But if I'm a team willing to offer a guaranteed contract, does that give me the license to offer less? So, like, if you're New England and I'm the Giants, and I'm offering a wide receiver 3 for 45, and you're offering a wide receiver 3 for 60, but my 45 is guaranteed, and you're only 28 guaranteed.
Could be a determining factor.
I mean, if you know going in you're going to get $45 million, or you're only going to get 28, depending on my production, it might matter, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. Coming back to Breeze, I mean, he's a free agent right now. All signs point to him obviously re-upping with New Orleans. You know, do they have the upper hand in basically saying, if we guarantee this contract fully, can we get out with paying him less? I wonder if that's kind of a...
If it is New Orleans, I think that could be part of a bargaining chip for them.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's something that the front office is kicking around, too. I mean, they have to be considering everything if they know that he is going to be getting, huge contracts in the free agent market.
Well, if you can go 2 for 40 with all guaranteed, save yourself $10 million over 2 years, save yourself $5 million, that's a pretty promising defensive back. That's a pretty good middle linebacker. That's another weapon, another receiver you could sign.
Yeah.
Another cornerback.
Yeah, or defensive back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Touche.
So, I don't know. I just kind of wondered about that. If you do go to fully guaranteed contracts, how does that change the status of, the amount of money you can actually offer? So, because then you have to look at the players' aspect. What do you want? You want longevity? You want guaranteed money? Do you want the ability to play? Do you want high contracts with potential? Because in today's NFL, not a lot of guys live up those contracts. And they always say that. I mean, Kaepernick had that huge deal, and he only saw about a third of it. So, anyways, we'll see. Speaking of free agents, the Texans, there's a report out now that they are not interested in signing or looking at any free agents who knelt during the anthem. Kind of an interesting take. I have a hard time believing that the Texans are publicly saying this, but apparently there's a report internally that this is kind of going on. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know that they are denying the report. They're saying it's not true. I guess the proof will be in the pudding. We'll have to see what free agents they sign and if those free agents were kneeling during the anthem to see if that was...
I mean, did the Texans have to almost now forcibly sign one of those guys? I don't know who's out there that was a free agent that was kneeling during the anthem. I don't have that list in front of me.
Yeah, I'm sure that...
I know Tremaine Johnson was one of them. He'll be a free agent, but he commands huge dollars right now. So if you don't sign him or if you don't take a look at him because you feel like he's out of your price range, now you've got to, do you bring him in just as a formality now, even though you have no intention of signing him? I mean, like say, bring in a guy who you don't want or can't afford. Now you have to bring him in. Do you feel like you have to bring him in for a visit just because, hey, look, we kicked the tires on this guy, but we couldn't afford him or didn't think he fit our scheme?
I mean, maybe it's worth a talk or something and see if you can talk him down or something, or see what you can get out of it. But
I mean, okay, that's a bad example. Let's say a guy you have no interest in bringing on your team,
yeah,
whether he knelt or not.
Mm-hmm.
He was just not, and he's not a fit for your scheme. And I wonder if players who knelt can use this at their advantage and call up and say, "Hey, look, I want to play for the Texans." How would you feel? That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, look, this guy knelt. The Texans have come out with this statement, or there's been reports. And let's just say Spike is, knelt during the anthem. And he comes out publicly and is like, I want to play in Houston. And Houston's like, you don't fit our scheme. I mean, now you've created a scenario where, it could be a problem publicly.
I don't know. I think this is easy enough to spin that even if Houston doesn't sign a free agent that had knelt previously during the anthem, they can just say that, the free agents they saw they liked and they signed the ones that they signed and everything else was coincidental.
I see what you're saying, but the court of public opinion is not going to see it that way.
Yeah, probably not.
The majority of people think that Colin Kaepernick's not in the league because he's not a good enough quarterback. Well, half the American people don't see it that way. Mm-hmm. So, the thing is anytime we're going to get a chance to play that card, they're going to try to play that card. They're not in Houston because they knelt during the anthem, and their owner or their organization clearly doesn't feel that way, even though we don't know who said it. We don't know where it came from. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of reporting nowadays just seems to be kind of, you can say whatever the hell you want, and put somebody in a bad, compromising position. it's going to be I think it's going to be a harder one to spin for the Texans than what a lot of people are making out. It's easy to make that public statement to say, we're going to evaluate all free agents and see which ones are the best fit for our team. But, you've got to now, I think, take extra measures and approaches to bring in these guys, or at least have a cup of coffee with these guys who did kneel during the anthem. If it really truly is something you don't believe, if you don't believe the fact that because didn't McNair have that comment about the inmates running the prison?
Yeah.
So now you have that on the back burner, and then you have this coming out with, it's not like this is the isolated incident. There is previous, shit going on in Houston, and McNair basically said, with the inmates comment,
yeah.
He said he wasn't referring to, them being inmates. He was just referring to the old cliche of, the inmates run the asylum, and he said prison, and it was a Freudian slip, blah, blah, blah. But he's already been pinned at this point. So now you have this situation. I think it's going to be harder to spin for the Texans. I can't say I hope. I don't think it'll get to a point where they have to sign somebody that they don't necessarily want just because of this situation. But I think they're going to have to bring in free agents they don't necessarily have any interest in to clear the air about this.
To kind of deter the situation.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to bring in free agents that they never really had on their radar just to defuse the bomb.
I suppose that's fair. And it's easy enough to take a look at a guy. You waste a little bit of time, but in the end, if you're not giving them any money for it, then, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it helps the PR. I could see that.
Yeah, so it'll be an interesting offseason for them. I think the person needs to come out and get in front of this, and how they can do that, I don't know. If they can get them to say something, say things, is they need to get Deshaun Watson to come out and basically say, that he likes playing for this organization, and, there's no issues.
Something positive, though.
Something positive. They need a positive spin after the last two situations.
Yeah.
Or maybe they should have traded for Marcus Peters. So, anywho, that about wraps it up for our Vegas Squares podcast. Gentlemen, anything else you saw caught your eye in the sports world the last couple of days?
Not so much. Been watching a little hockey, but that's about it.
Dude, get off your Bumble account, bro. We're doing a podcast here.
Swiping right.
He does love that swiping, doesn't he?
Yep.
I don't know. Congrats to Marchand today on the hat trick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, pulled off another one. No, it's been, the regular season for hockey is kind of winding down. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out for the playoff push, but I sort of knew that the Knights would slip a little bit, that Nashville would come up, and right now Nashville's riding an 8-game winning streak. I don't know if they won tonight.
They did.
They did, so 9 games now. And, Vegas has just fallen a little bit further behind in the Western Conference standings. So, that's fine. I'm still happy going into the playoffs as a number 2 or number 3 seed and see what the Knights can do.
I went 8-1 today in hockey, and Colorado should have got me 9-0. That would have been sick. So, anyways, I got a frog in my throat. We appreciate you guys tuning in to another edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. Check us out again on forwardmile.com. You can subscribe to their service, listen to us, and a whole host of other different sports topics. We are also on 12-Ounce Sports Radio, 12ozsportsradio.com. We are there every Tuesday night and Saturday mornings. Check them out on Twitter at 12-Ounce Sports. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Twitter handle is Vegas Squares. Anyways, we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much for listening, and have a wonderful evening.